What's up, everyone? This is the UFC 251 post prediction, a Sweet Pete opinion. I did a UFC 251, just the main card, made main card fight predictions, and I just wanted to show you the results of my picks. So I went 5 for 5 last night. Let's start from the top. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. I picked Usman to win, and we got it. It was a boring fight, unfortunately. Usman did what he had to do to win. It's funny. I think all the credit actually goes to Jorge Masvidal for having the heart and the tenacity to stay in there for all 5 rounds, um, to stuff so many takedowns when he got taken down, to control Usman, to minimize damage. He was getting pity patter punches along the fence. Those little pain, they hurt. He's going to be sore today. The knees on the inside of the legs. He was getting the punches in the ribs. You could take them all day long, but they bruise and they hurt the next day. The foot stomps hurt. They hurt at the time, and even the knees, especially the knees on the inside of the thigh. I find if you get a good one on the outside of the thigh too, if you find that sweet spot, those are painful. Um, we saw Masvidal. He looked big enough to hang in there with Usman. It wasn't like hugely oversized. The body types were quite different, the athleticism. But what if Jorge Masvidal was on a full camp? His wrestling was 100% on par, and he just put on a little bit more muscle. What if? Uh, I argue that in MMA, the ultimate goal is to finish your opponent, and it's based on damage. So that's the prime factors that the judges are looking at, and then the sport and the purpose of winning the sport is to finish your opponent through damage and the rules necessary. So when Usman has Jorge against the cage, and he's doing the pitter patter punches on the ribs, the knees, and the time's just expiring down, I think the referee should separate them. I don't think there should be a stalling call. I think they should just separate them after, let's say, 30 seconds of no position gain. If you're not gaining position, you separate them back in the center of cage. That would give Jorge Masvidal a much better chance of winning that fight instead of really just being laid on and never put in a position of danger where he's being finished. The ultimate goal of the sport, finish your opponent to win the fight. I guess the ultimate goal is to win the fight. He did win by points, but if they implemented a rule like that where you're not advancing position within 30 seconds, um, and you're content on just staying in that position and winning on the scorecards, that is unacceptable because that is not, uh, aiming to the end goal of damaging your opponent. That's the main purpose. Um, they should reset your position to center cage and have it back in a standing position. That would give Jorge Masvidal many more opportunities to land that shot to put out Kamaru Usman. Where they were fighting standing up, it was pretty even. You could tell just Masvidal was a little bit labored, and it just that was the difference. It was the conditioning for sure, and bad matchup. But again, the stalling tactics on the fence, I wasn't a fan of those. At the same time, I think Kamaru Usman is a very respectable and a great champion, and he fought a smart fight, the fight that he had to fight to win. Now we come to the co-main event, belt on the line. This is a little sad here because Max Holloway came out. Funny, he thought he won the first fight when he clearly lost every round, I think. The first fight, he was 0 for 5. Uh, he comes out in this first fight and he's fighting different. He's fighting smart. He's fighting with distance. He's still getting clipped by the kicks, but he's firing back with his own kicks. So he's scoring back. And he's using his jabs. And you know what he used was his own kicks as an attack without firing back. I mean, as a front kicks up the middle to keep space. So he's keeping enough space, but boxing space and still pushing forward, not allowing Alexander to kind of gain the footwork position on the inside and have that advantage. he was leading the dance. He won the first round. He dropped her with a head kick. He won the second round. He had some great uppercuts, some nice knees up the middle. The third round, I believe he won too. And the fourth and fifth could have went to Alexander. I think Max Holloway won this fight, even though I picked Alexander Volkanovski to win. I gotta rewatch the fight, guys. I don't want you to take my word on this. I picked Alexander to win. I'm gonna rewatch it the second time without sound, changes of the bias on it. The fight's been done, all that stuff changes, and then I'll have a better, real kind of opinion on who won that fight. But as it standed at that night, it looked like last night. It looked like Max Holloway took it. We went to Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. Now, I think Jose Aldo won the first. It was a great fight until I think it was the end of the second or it could have been the end of the first actually, and maybe Jan won that round, where Jose was winning the entire round right up until the end, where Aldo actually went for a takedown, and it was a nice takedown. He got it, but yeah, Piotr, I don't know how to say it. Peter Yan, he scrambled out, and when he scrambled out, he ended up on top, and he came down and he landed a body punch right to the lower. I think it was right rib of Jose Aldo, and I called it right then and there. He could have broken his rib, he could have bruised his rib, it could have been a liver shot, but I think it was the rib, and you could see it from that moment on. That affected Jose Aldo. Every time he was twisting that rib, he stopped doing what was working very well for him. Was Jose Aldo was throwing his uh, his rear body kick, and that involves the rib a lot, that twisting. And that rear body kick was really throwing Piotr Jan off. And Piotr, he's tough. He's young, and his cardio was on par, and it showed in the fourth and fifth. I don't know if there would have been a change in the fight if that rib injury didn't happen. But it does let me question it. And I think although with the loss and being finished, still showed he belongs in this division, and he's right up there. He truly is. He's only 33. He doesn't turn 34 until September. We have the women's strawweight fight, the Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade. That ended how it should. It was the judges got it right. Well, not necessarily right, but I think it was a 29-28. I think Andrade picked it up and she probably won the last round. It was pretty even, except Andrade had a little more power to her punches and scoring, judging. I've done a video on this based on damage. You got to give it to the fighter who is outputting more damage, even if the strikes are equal and the output is equal. The the fighter who is putting out more output in damage would win that round. So regardless, Rose Namajunas staying on the outside, using her jab, using her long straight, using her great footwork. She won round one, two, and I think she lost the last one there. And 29-28 across the board is what it should have been, but she won a split decision. Uh, Albeit she got the fight, it was done the right way. It was not like the co-main event there, where Alexander Volkanovski gets a win, which I did call. So you listen to me and your bet, you get 5 for 5. But I think I'll do admit that I think I was wrong on that one. I think Holloway won. I was very shocked by his confidence and with his training regimen, only training through Zoom and not sparring, how effective he was. It was incredible to see. So yeah, going back to that women's strawweight fight, Rose, her newfound love for the sport seemed to show. She was in it the whole time. She's tough as nails, and it just it's amazing to see the evolution of women's MMA. The stand up was incredible, and Jessica Andrade fought amazing fight too. She's tough as nails, and she takes it, keeps coming forward to get on the inside. That's tough to do as a smaller fighter. So good for you, Jessica Andrade. Great fight. And just like I called, but I called it much different. I thought it was going to be a a drawn out 3-round war. I thought Amanda Ribas was gonna get the best of Paige Van Zandt, which she did. She ended up getting a kind of head and arm throw that led into an armbar, and she tapped out Paige in the first. I called it a decision. I thought Ribas was gonna just outpoint her. It's funny because Hebus used to fight at this was flyweight. She wants to go back down to strawweight, so that's 115. Flyweight's 125. Paige is smaller than Hebus, and Amanda Hebus is talking about going down to 115. She wants to be a champion at both weight classes. Unfortunately, you got a lot to deal with these weight classes. So Amanda Hebus has got a long way to go, but she's got all the power to her. She's coming off a win. And best of luck to Paige Van Zandt for her last UFC contracted fight. Hopefully, we see her back in the UFC. I love watching Paige fight. She is a true mixed martial artist. She's a great fighter. She always comes to fight. She brings it every single time. She brings new skills. She has had knockouts. She's had submissions. She's had decision wins. She's had some losses, but she's a great fighter. She's a great ambassador for the sport. She's entertaining. I think the UFC would be silly not to take her back on. Hey, she get more money in Bellator. I don't know if one does females or not, but Invicta or overseas somewhere in another promotion, then all the best to Paige Van Zandt. Hopefully, we see her in the UFC in the future. I really think Paige needs to go to 115. It's a better weight class for her. She's fighting bigger girls. She's very short. I think it says 5'4". I don't think she's that tall, and she's pretty petite. She's a small girl. Fight at 115. These guys, are fighting at 125. They're weighing like 145. They're 150. They're getting down to 125. There's no way Paige Van Zandt weighs 130 or 40 pounds, maybe 130 something, I guess, to get down to 125. But there's a lot of weight that is in water, and the woman's body is a bit different, but she could get down. 115 is probably a better weight class for her. Anyways, just wanted to say thanks for watching. Sweet Pete here. Please subscribe here, guys. I want to try to grow this channel. I'm going to give videos that are different. We're going to do things like this, but you're going to see me in action. You're going to see me hitting the bag. You're going to see, who knows, maybe you'll see a fight of me down the road. I'm thinking about taking an amateur fight one of these days. Uh, that's it. I went 5 for 5. Keep following Sweet Pete if you want to make some money. That's the way to go. Subscribe. Thanks everyone. Have a nice weekend. Hope you enjoyed the fights.